G'day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the Goku Black Red Zone and seeing just how difficult the Goku Black Red Zone is in DBZ Dokkan Battle. So there's two phases to this Red Zone. There's the first phase, the Strength phase against base form Goku Black, and then there is the second phase against physical Goku Rose. So it's a pretty interesting fight. Obviously it's quite strong. I would say it's actually pretty tough. Like, I think the stage starts out pretty strong and then things get pretty interesting from there. So it's definitely one that you can be taken by surprise against, and you're going to need a team that has guard or has some pretty strong tanking units to be able to facilitate this team. So in terms of things to be considerate of, obviously Goku Black starts out pretty strong, but one thing that is important is that in both phases, the strength and the int phase, Goku Black essentially has only ki blast based supers. So you do have the ability to run units that can kind of nullify those ki blast based supers and have a bit of a better time against them. So that's one thing I would consider. There's also evasion as an option, as he does not cancel evasion. However, there are some concerns. You can get caught out quite badly with normal attacks. I think he starts out hitting very hard. We're talking about a unit I think that has a very strong opening level of strength. So you're going to need units that have guard or can circumnavigate that type difference quite badly. Also considering the fact that he goes from a strength type unit into an int type unit means that you're usually quite scared of bringing a physical type unit, just due to the fact that you're going to potentially lose out and take a lot of damage in the initial phases. It also means that AGL units are quite strong due to their strength in the first phase and their neutrality in the second phase. So that's something to consider. So let's talk about the team. So we're going for a hybrid bond of parent and child and Future Saga team. We have some pretty strong Future Saga selection options. We've gone with double int, Trunks and Vegeta leads. This is something that's very, very good for us. We've then also gone with the AGL, LR, Future Gohan and Trunks. Very strong unit defensively, especially after Super. We're going to utilize their revive skill, their ability to see super attacks, and of course as well they have a favorable typing for the first phase, so that's something that's pretty useful. Outside of that, we also have the physical Future Gohan, a very strong unit defensively, especially alongside a Trunks unit, a unit with Trunks in the name. And then we also obviously have AGL LR Gohan, the Super Saiyan 2 transforming one. Although he's not going to be able to transform, he is going to be a solid defensive unit due to his guard, and he'll do some decent damage in the first phase. So what we're basically planning on doing is we're having the Trunks and the Vegeta spearhead both rotations from being the first slot unit, and essentially allowing them to soak up a lot of the damage and basically be a defensive stalwart. Then we're probably going to have the physical Future Gohan in the second slot. Ideally you'd have the AGL LR Super Saiyan Gohan in the second slot on the other rotation, and then you just have your Ultimate Gohan and your Future Gohan kind of floating around, and then Tech Vegeta is also going to float around and kind of do his thing. So yeah, this is also a perfect example of where the revive comes in handy. Basically, it would have been nice to save it for the second phase, but it's more than fine to use the revive. It allows us to guarantee a good rotation to get some extra damage out of Trunks and Vegeta, allows them to build up some extra stacks, and also just allows us to not have to use an item to secure a transition over. So obviously securing that transition is pretty crucial, but once you are at the next phase, it's pretty imperative that you essentially can run your team and operate things pretty well. It's
going to need some damage. And for that reason, that's why we brought the Ultimate Gohan. He's going to do really solid levels of damage. Vegito as well, if we get his active skill off, will be able to perform, some pretty sizable damage and just be able to obviously bring everything together. But with that being said, optimally, Ultimate Gohan probably the big time damage dealer that we're looking for when it comes to operations here. Now that being said, it's going to depend on your team build and the positioning of your units, of course. But for me, for the most part, I tend to find that you may need to use an item here. So getting through the strength phase without using an item is pretty good, but you may need to use an item here. There's a couple decent levels of damage that Goku Black can perform. Depending on your rotations, you may need to circumvent that damage a little bit. With that being said, I think at the end of the day, it was a pretty good, pretty solid level of difficulty. Like I said, both phases do fire though a Ki Blast based super, and that's pretty important when you're looking at handling both stages. So if you have units that can nullify Ki Blasts, then you really do tend to have a pretty good time, at least overall from me. Now I would have kept the Gohan on rotation if the attacks had panned out a bit better, but because of how many attacks that occurred near the end of this rotation, I had to kind of push Ultimate Gohan to that back seat there. Of course, it's always going to change depending on how well you handle everything. But you can see already, no item runs are going to be pretty tough on this stage, which I think is good. I think it's a nice stage if you can get the no item run for. I think it's going to be a very, very good stage, to get it done for. I would make a couple changes to my team and probably be able to get it done. AGL Gohan and Trunks, could maybe switch them out. Physical Gohan I'd probably keep. Maybe Vegito I could switch out for one that's less at risk of damage due to getting hit by a super attack, or just a normal. So there are changes that I could make. I don't think it's imperative. I think you could even no item run with this team if you get lucky with where the supers are. So it's just going to depend. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, I'm probably in the position whereby I'd say it's a pretty good stage to no item run. I think it's quite fun. I think it's got a very good baseline level of difficulty. And it's also nice and simple, 2 phases, you know what's happening. Clutch dodge there by Vegito. So yeah, just pretty good stuff, realistically speaking. So yeah, really solid. I think overall, the active skills from the Trunks and Vegeta units do come in handy. The extra damage, the extra defense that they give the whole rotation, pretty solid. I debated whether to use an item to finish it off here. I was like, should I not? What should I do? But I decided to go for it and just use an item anyway, because I wanted to secure the run and get the footage so that I could make a video. But yeah, to each their own. I think overall it's a pretty fun stage, and yeah, I think it's a pretty good one to try. We'll definitely be coming back to try and no item this one. I think it would be a cool little fun event to do, because I think he hits really hard out the gate, so it makes it quite an interesting balancing of your team. You need to go quite defensive, but you do want a bit of damage because you don't want to linger around. He can do quite a fair chunk of damage. So units with Ki nullification, like we saw with Gohan earlier, really do come in clutch, and really I kind of want to see about building a Ki nullification team, seeing if they do really well here. So yeah, but honestly speaking, pretty fun time, pretty good run there, and yeah, at the end of the day, everything went together quite well. By the way, love this guy's animations, like one of my favorite cards animation wise. So really cool stuff, and it was really cool to use them, even if it technically, I guess, cost us the no item run. Almost got us an item run and then kind of costed us. But yeah, overall, really good stuff. And honestly, I was pretty happy with how everything went. So let me know what you guys think about the stage, if you've tried it or not. And yeah, I'd love to hear your guys' opinions and just see where you're at. But that's going to be it from me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you're enjoying the worldwide celebration, and let me know your thoughts on the red zone stages so far. I think the Dismal Future ones have been pretty well designed, pretty interesting, pretty cool. So yeah, that's going to be it from me, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, as always, take care, stay safe, and bye.